Hey guys, Jacob with Jacob Comics. All right, the second part this week of the dark web crossover, and unfortunately, I found out this one actually comes first. So if you just watched the first part of these and didn't, cut out after the spoiler bit, you want to read this one before you read Amazing Spider-Man number 15. I don't know why they even listed it out in the dark web reading order that this one came after, but it most definitely happens before. We'll get dived into that. It's Dark Web X-Men #1. All right, guys. Now, before we get dived into that, I do want to let you know about the 600 subscriber giveaway. When we hit 600 subscribers, we'll be giving this book away. It's a Marvel #1 rare variant. All you have to do is like the video, comment down below, and be subscribed to the channel. We'll be giving that book away when we hit 600 subscribers. Now, off the bag and board, check this cover out. It's super cool. Um, all the art inside is all done by the same artist. He did the pencils, inks, and colors, so it's quite impressive. And I really did like the art in this. Now, as always, we always shout out the creative team, and so the creative team on this book is Jerry Duggan is the writer, and like I said, the artist I thought did a really spectacular job. I'll show you guys some of the panels. Was Rod Reese, and he does all the art. Like I said, colors, inks, and pencils. And then we do have VC's Corey Petit on letters. There is a foreword here, and that just kind of covers the fact that Madeline Pryor is the clone of Jean Grey, that um, that Chasm is Ben Riley is the clone of Peter Parker. And so we do start, and it's actually kind of a little bit here by Magic, and she's like thinking about how she used to be in control of Limbo, right, and decided to step away to take a more active role in being a superhero on the X-Men team, and well, on the New Mutants team. And she left Limbo to Madeline Pryor, and wondering, she's kind of has some concerns about that, right? Because as is revealed, that these entities that are appearing in New York City, Manhattan specifically, are actually from Limbo, and she knows this, so she's like, ugh, Madeline Pryor's up to no good, right? And so we see our team of X-Men here just just basically trying to deal with the situation of, as we saw in the other episodes, all kinds of stuff come to life, right? Christmas trees, cars, mailboxes, you name it. Everything has sprung to life like Ghostbusters. Like they're all demons. And so in comes Forge, and he's actually developed a weapon here. He says, Forge tech log. When I saw the demons running around, I whipped up some fast-acting Krakoan vines in a solution that will grow quickly when exposed to oxygen. And he shoots his gun. Kind of has almost like a Ghostbusters looking backpack on. He shoots this gun, and vines and everything trap all sorts of these demons. And that kind of continues. Forge is kicking butt and taking names. And then we see some more X-Men. We've got Iceman, Magic, Cyclops, Jean Grey are all taking on a bunch of these creatures. And there's some actually really interesting banter, and kind of like wondering, are these demons sentient, because they're kind of talking a lot, right? And so the X-Men sort of feel bad, like just having to kill them, if but there's so many of them, and they are trying to eat people and cause actual damage. So they decide like, all right, something's got to be done, right? And then there's kind of like these flying gargoyles, and they're able to corrupt different objects. And so when they land and they corrupt different objects, well, one of them lands on the Christmas tree in Rockefeller Center, and this thing springs to life. If you guys can imagine, like I said, it kind of gave me Ghostbusters vibes. If you could think how big that Christmas tree in Rockefeller Center is, if it came to life and was just wreaking havoc. Well, that is what happens in this comic book. And so it's wreaking havoc. And just as that kind of starts to happen, in swings our best guy, Peter Parker, right? Here to save the day. And while this is going on, some of the other X-Men, they decide that they're going to jump into limbo, right? And so we see this happening, and they jump into limbo. But this was kind of cool. I thought the X-Men that are left behind to fight this giant tree monster, the Christmas tree of Rockefeller Center, is none other than Spidey and his amazing friends, guys. And so we have this super cool callback of Spider-Man, Firestar, and Iceman teaming up to save Christmas, basically. And they're even kind of like referring to that. And so, like the first lines, I'm gonna read a little bit of this because it's pretty fun. I like this. He goes, "There's a guy that's being attacked by the Christmas tree, right?" And so Firestar's like, "Hang on, sir, we're coming." And Spider-Man says, "Let's see if we can somehow beat the tree up, but put it back in place." And Iceman's like, "Agreed. I like the way you swing, Spidey." So they attempt to start that plan, right? And as they're swinging in, the tree smacks everyone, including Spider-Man, and says, the tree's like, "Tree hates you." And Spider-Man shows the frowny face on his new outfit that kind of has like a changeable face. If you haven't seen it, it's so tiny on this panel, but he goes, "That's why every year I write the mayor's office and beg for the city to get a Charlie Brown Christmas tree in case it ever steals Frosty's bit and comes to life." And then so we see the rest of the team in limbo, and super quickly they are put to sleep by sleep demons. We go right back to Spider-Man, Firestar, and Iceman fighting this giant Christmas tree. Now, it takes them a while, but obviously it's a tree. Firestar lights it on fire, and it starts kind of running around, and then they realize, oh no, we've lit the Christmas tree in Central Park on fire. That's probably not the greatest of ideas. And so Iceman freezes it, and Spider-Man's like, "Oh man, this is all on camera. Jameson's gonna roast my nuts." And because he ends up freezing it. Bobby freezes it. And so Firestar goes, "This is not better, Bobby." And Iceman goes, "Well, it's not worse." And then the narrator says, "Iceman had terraformed the poles of Araco and defeated the frost giants at their home in Niflheim. Freezing a horrid tree solid was child's play compared to those feats. In fact, so solid was the flash-frozen tree that it would not thaw until March of next year." And then, so the people are just starting to boo. And I'm going to show you this panel here so you can kind of get an idea of why everybody's super upset. So that's what the Christmas tree in Central Park looks like now. It's completely frozen solid. And gotta love these lines here. Firestar's like, "Are people booing us?" And Iceman says, "Hey, you people can't boo us. Besides, you love when Tim Burton does stuff like this, but not us?" A kid walks up and says, I saw it eat Santa. Spider-Man says, we all saw it, kid. Don't worry, though. He's a mutant, and the X-Men are gonna resurrect him in their Keebler treehouse. Okay, well, that happened. We should definitely not team up ever again. Very uncomplimentary power set. As you guys know, super callbacks to the Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends TV show, kind of making fun of it, saying they don't work well as a team. Anyways, this is how I know that this happens before Spider-Man 15, because right after this, Peter gets a call, and it's Norman saying, Peter, he's back, need help. And Peter's like, Norman, and ends up taking off. And so obviously that happens before 15, right? If you guys have been following the story, because that's the call that he gets from Norman Osborn Gold Goblin, because Chasm's attacking him and beating him nearly to death. So then we see the X-Men that had gone into limbo have been captured by Madeline Pryor. And she's got Jean and Magic stuck in a powerful spell, because those two are too powerful of telekinesis. She probably doesn't want to, Jean Grey is definitely her equal, so she doesn't want to do that. But with the powers of Limbo behind her, she is able to cast some spells and kind of have those two, under her thumb, basically. And the Summers brothers awoke to find they were prisoners in Maddie's sky dungeons. And as they always do, the Summers brothers start fighting and arguing amongst each other. These two have deep-rooted hatred of each other to a certain, hatred's probably too strong of a word, because they love each other as brothers, but they also disagree quite a bit, and they have a lot of sticking points, you know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of going down, and in walks Madeline Pryor, kind of having watched them argue, right? And she goes, what else is new? The great Summers brothers. And Scott says, listen. She says, no, I don't have time to listen to you anymore. We're going to have a little fun. I'm going to get everything I want, and you two can watch. As we get the final panel of Madeline Pryor standing over the two Summers brothers who she easily has dispatched in limbo. And so yeah, it's gonna be it's definitely getting in the thick of it, you know what I mean? Like, Chasm's powered up now from Amazing Spider-Man 15, and you know what I mean? Peter's got to face him now. Venom's still out there somewhere, wants to eat Spider-Man's brains. I assume that he's going to wake up from the screams of the trees at some point. Venom doesn't stay unconscious from that forever. Madeline Pryor's got a bunch of the X-Men trapped, including some of the more powerful that you would think would be the ones that would eventually come up with some sort of plan to defeat her. Who's gonna save the day, guys? That's, is it gonna be Peter? Who else can step up at this point, right? She has a lot of the main players in this dark web kind of beat up on the X-Men already in issue 1. Obviously we did see Forge is still around too, so maybe Forge shows up. Yeah, no, I'm having fun with the dark web story. I think because I'm invested in kind of these two clones stories. Madeline Pryor slightly less than Ben Reilly. Super interested in what happens with Ben Reilly, but also kind of curious what happens with Madeline Pryor. This is actually a continuing story from X-Men Inferno. And so, yeah, I'm kind of curious to see, how this ultimately plays out for her. and can she control her demons? Obviously, putting these two, as I had said in the other review, putting these two just not had a good history Marvel characters that are clones together, and both of them kind of feeding off their hatred of their doppelganger, or of their, you know what I mean, of the person that they were cloned from, to a certain extent. Because if you can imagine being a cloned version of someone else, like, that's got to kind of mess with your head, right? So yeah, I'm having fun with it, and the art on this one's super awesome. Props to Reese. Hopefully he's drawing this whole little, because I think there's 3 of these Dark Web X-Men. I think it's Dark Web X-Men 1, 2, and 3 as part of the whole Dark Web series. So hopefully he's drawing all of them. I definitely had fun with it. I give Dark Web X-Men 1 a thumbs up. Alright, that's what I have, guys. And remember, like I said, the reading order is actually Dark Web X-Men number 1, then Amazing Spider-Man 15. But yeah, I don't know why they got it wrong on their on their website. Anyways, that's what I have today, guys. We'll see you tomorrow, and have a great day.